right, ladies and freaks, we are cooking Texas style spare ribs, so we got to start by trimming them. We got a big beefy rack. We got it at the old Wally World. I don't know the price, but it was cheap. I thought there were 3 in a pack, and it was actually 2. That's how meaty they were. We got a big boy that we're gonna get into, so we're gonna bring you in. So this is what I'm talking about, a big meaty boy. We got a lot of this meat right here, which I believe is the loin meat. I'm not a doctor, I was a pig once, but I think this is the loin meat. But if we don't take this off, it'll just shred as we're slicing it on the board, which isn't nice. We got thin floppy bits right here, so we'll probably go 1-2 bones in, take it right here. That'll just make for a nice even cook. We got this right here, which will give a little bit of shape. The spare ribs come from near the belly, so it's got a lot of nice fat and marbling. I always thought this thing here was called the chine bone, but it turns out the chine bone actually, I believe, again, I'm not a doctor or a pig doctor, the chine bones are actually connected to the spine, and this is actually connected to the breastplate. So I think if this were a chicken, which is not, pigs and chickens are different from one another, this would be the keel bone. But regardless, we're gonna go right here between the breastbone and then these ribs you can see right here, and just cut it off. And the reason why we do that is so that when we're slicing, the bones run this way. If there's a bone perpendicular to our slice, we're not gonna be able to go through. We wanna go through. So we're gonna take that off. We're gonna take off this skirt steak here, and then we're going to use that and some sausage grind, which maybe we'll make a video on that later, but it's an easy trim. We start on the back. I like to use a big chef's knife because you get these big strokes, and sometimes when you're going through, you like to get a little muscle behind it that I can't always get with the little trimmers. So these are usually a pretty easy trim process, so let's just rock and roll. For me, I like to pull back and just kind of touch that skirt as I'm trimming. Try not to poke this meat. It's not a big deal if you do. Try not to poke that meat as you're working through. And it just comes right off, right off. So this is that skirt meat, great for sausage. And so we'll keep that for later. All right, looking at this looks good. Like I said, this is thin, so we're gonna go in. There's 1 bone, 2 bones. That 3rd bone in actually looks pretty good. So we're gonna get right up on it and just try to go all the way through, all the way through. 3rd time's the charm. So we'll keep this too. More sausage trim. We'll take these bones out before we grind it up. We might even throw this on the pit today just to have a little something while we're cooking, because I get hungry as a hungry boy. So we're just gonna move this aside so we got a better workspace. So I mentioned we were gonna take this chine bone off. For me, if I were gonna turn it around like this could be kind of an awkward angle, but I do like that it's close to me and I can see what's going on. So I'm actually gonna do it this way, and we're just gonna go right between. And that's why I like this big chef's knife, so you can kind of get in there and get this bone out. And so this is what I was talking about. Bone. This is all 1 bone, some cartilage. I might have just called it a chine bone. I'm trying to reteach myself this is not a chine bone, this is a breastbone. So we'll keep this. This one's definitely gonna go on the pit. We'll salt and pepper it, cook it, and then we'll wrap it in foil till it gets tender. And we'll eat this as a snack as we're going. So, looking at the back, things look pretty good. I can tell that this is thin. We're gonna end up taking this off, but we'll do that once we flip. This is actually a lot of fat, so I'm gonna pull that out. See how easy that came out? I've seen some people get in there with spoons. This stuff isn't gonna render, or it hasn't from my experience. Someone might be able to render it. If you're on a direct heat pit, that actually could be perfect. So I'm not gonna mess too much, but I'm just gonna pull out what I can of that fat using my fingers. I've seen people use spoons, like my guy Tuffy Stone showed me the spoon method, which I thought was pretty cool. But anyways, just a little bit of fat, we'll keep that too. Going in our pile. All right, flippy. We're gonna get an angle change to keep things interesting. Okay, we got the angle change. We touched our camera, so we took the glove off. We gotta get these blue. We're going blue gloves. Check these out. Blue, baby. All right, so this is that section here that I said needed to come off. So we're just gonna go kind of right through and try to keep close into that fat. And see what I just did there? I was poking, and that's what you don't want to do. So you want to kind of keep that knife tip up and get right in there. So this is that, I think it was loin meat. I'm pretty sure it's loin meat, but this is great for sausage, so we'll keep that too. This is okay. Maybe take some of this fat out. It's kind of nice when the fat, there's no fat there because you can get the seasoning on the meat. We might trim a little bit of it, but maybe not. Okay, so I mentioned this piece here. That's just this kind of floppy bit. What we want to do is we want to give it some shape to where this bone ends right here. So if we can come through and just even with that bone, it's going to give it a nice shape. And that's why, again, why I like these long knives, because you can start at the tip, move all the way, start at the base and move all the way to the tip and really get some leverage. So we're gonna try to do that here for you. Like I said, bone right here. So this is where we're going. All right, so I think we can still take a little more off. And what we're trying to do here is just give these edges a nice round shape so that when the smoke hits it, it kind of rolls off, or it's just blasting it. All right. So far, things are looking pretty good. I like to just press on it a little bit. See that? When I pressed on it and pushed everything out, the shape actually isn't what I want. So I'm gonna come back in and take this here a little closer. Okay, it's looking a little better. I'm not going for perfect. I'm not winning any awards. I'm not in Texas, but I am kind of a perfectionist myself. All right, so that's looking good to me. It's really just a bone. So we're gonna actually take that off. We'll do it from floppy ass bone. We'll do it from the back so we can see what we're doing, and so can you. So here's one bone, here's two bones. So we're just gonna get real close to that bone and take it right off. And see how dark this is here? I don't like that, so I'm gonna get in there and try to take some of that off if I can. I didn't really get any off, but that's okay. We're doing things live. Okay. Now let's look at what we've got. You know, I think that this is still some of that loin meat, actually. This might, we'll see. We'll see when we cook it, but this here, you see how this is separating? This is probably, when I slice on the board, this will probably shred. But we're gonna do it live. This is what we are working with. Back, front. We took off the breastbone, we gave it some shape. We took off the first bone here. We took off two bones at the back. We took off this skirt. Made it look nice and presentable. Get out of there. All right, so I got through the trimming on them ribbies, and realized that I was filming in 9:16. That's not what YouTube is. That's Instagram. Come on, that's Reels, that's TikTok. What was I thinking? Hey, go easy on yourself. So, we're not gonna refilm it. We're just gonna post it like that and hope you like it. Eat barbecue. live forever.